Hi there, folks. How you doing? Hope everything is going well. Welcome back to a new video. Yes, so today my plan is to continue discussing the subject of rights. Yeah, now you may be wondering why all of a sudden I am talking about rights. I mean, so far I've made 2 videos discussing rights, and yeah, you might be wondering, hey, why all of a sudden am I talking about rights? Well, there are many people in many places and they are having their rights infringed. There are many places where people's rights have been infringed for like hundreds of years and stuff. And I mean, people have become exceedingly rich, like infringing on other people's rights. And so, yes, I thought like it is a necessary video to make. I've made a number of them, so I thought that it is necessary to make a few videos about these. And I mean, it's an important issue, and maybe I'm not the first person to talk about it. Maybe a lot more has been said about it. I have not actually gone looking at videos, looking specifically for videos that discuss rights, but I've come across videos on like tangential topics, and they do discuss people's rights and like so many things that are being done to infringe on people's rights. Now, in one of my earlier videos, I mentioned to you that yes, the topic and the whole idea that might be getting circulated around, the things that you hear from many people in the media is that you need to fight for your rights and stuff. And I think in one of my videos, I mentioned to you that you should not do that. And you might be wondering why. Why shouldn't you do that? That's what everybody is saying that you should do. Well, think about it this way. As I said, in many places, rights have been infringed for hundreds of years, and people have gotten exceedingly rich infringing on those rights. They have gained a lot of power. So, if your rights are being infringed today, it's probably because the people in those places have become used to doing it. And they have actually set up systems to allow them to do it. Also, you on your own, or even a small group of people claiming and deciding that you are going to fight for your rights, this actually would give them justification and claim that you yes, you whose rights are being infringed are a group of violent people. You are a group of lawbreakers, and that gives them justification to quell the antisocial behavior that you are displaying. This is what it's going to do. So, yes, when people open their mouths and they tell you to fight for your rights, dismiss that idea and yeah, dismiss that idea because they are trying to manipulate you. Let me tell you, like, you have your own decisions to make, right? You decide how you solve your problems, right? It's up to you. It's not up to me. But I have this suggestion for you. If you feel that your rights are being infringed and you have made your best attempt to resolve the problem, what I recommend to you is that you make sure that you document everything that's been done to you over time. Make sure that you properly document it. Make sure you get your videos. Make sure you take your pictures. Make sure you save your documents. Make sure you make your recordings. And yes, don't spend time struggling with people who have infringed your rights and demonstrate like a lack of interest in stopping and lack of interest in what you have to say. Sometimes you go ahead and you make reports and they are totally ignored. So here's what I have for you. Yes, like I said, document properly. Then, as in one of my videos before, pack the things that you can carry, sell the things that you cannot. If yeah, I mean, if you have tons of stuff that you have family that can help you to move, then perhaps you may be able to move. Perhaps you may be able to give some things away. Perhaps yeah. It all depends on you what you do with your stuff, right? I mean, but if you're if you have to move, sometimes you might have to move and go to a completely different country. So, my suggestion to you is that you sell the things that you cannot take with you. Like sometimes you may you may be considering the idea of like having those things transported, but I tell you, there are some companies out there that have their ways of scamming you out of your property, like charging exorbitant fees to the point where you may not even be able to afford to have your things delivered. And sometimes, if you have to leave in a hurry, I mean, you may just be better off selling those things anyway, because you would run the risk of losing all of it. So, if you can, you might as well sell it. If you cannot, then maybe you might end up losing it anyway. So, and if you lose stuff, realize that they're only just things. You can get them back again. You can get way more than you lost. If you made it once, then you can make it again. You bought them once, then and you were able to afford them, then you can do it again. But if you stay and you fight and you end up being destroyed, you end up being deleted, you will have no chance of getting this stuff back, and you would have lost everything, including, I guess, including your life, right? So there are times when you need to realize that all you need to do is throw in the towel after you have exhausted your attempts to resolve the issue by talking and discussing and everything, and nobody will listen and they just continue to infringing on your rights. Yeah, realize that, yeah, you don't have to continue talking to them. You could just decide, hey, I am going to dismiss you completely. I will pack my things. I will sell what I cannot carry or give them away, whatever, and I will move. I will move to a place where the people aren't infringing on my rights. People are willing to listen to what I have to say, and people recognize that other people deserve to be treated with dignity and that their human rights need to be respected. So, yeah, move to places, move to another place like that. Don't waste your time struggling with people who make their, who literally make their bread and butter by infringing other people's rights. Yeah, just, yeah. I mean, remember my warning signs video? I don't know if you've seen it. I have made one. Um, I mean, a similar thing applies to places. In the warning signs video, I spoke about people, right? So this also applies to places too. Places where you have a huge number of people who basically dedicate themselves to being antagonistic towards you, right? Towards you or towards certain classes of people. They actually work together and they basically make lives miserable. They basically destroy people. And yes, they disenfranchise people. There is a word. Yeah, they discriminate against certain groups of people and stuff. So, what I have to say to you is if at any point you are in a place where you realize that this is happening to you and it continually happens to you and you do your best to resolve the issue, my recommendation is pack your things, sell what you cannot carry, and move. Yeah, because the idea of fighting for your rights is propaganda. It is a way to justify actually using more force against you. You, the victim. It's a way to justify using more force and to claim, to make all sorts of claims, even though you are the person who has suffered the most. The same people who literally are destroying your life will claim that you are being disruptive, and they will use they will use your complaints, they will use your demonstrations and stuff as a way to actually use more force against you, and they will justify it in that way. So yeah, my recommendation to you is don't spend your time. Yes, you will never see me in a demonstration. I will never be in a demonstration. I will never be in a march. You wanna know why? Because these marches are basically used to basically justify using more force against people who have been disenfranchised. So if you're in a march, I consider you to be a fool because you are actually your own worst enemy. Because I mean, yeah, if you've been disenfranchised and you decide that you're going to be disruptive, you're basically justifying more force being used against you. So yeah, do do the smart thing. Pack up and move. If you're no longer there, they can't touch you. Because I mean, yeah, like I'm saying, there's been groups of people in certain countries where they've made their bread and butter. They've become exceedingly rich by abusing other people. And for you to come today, if you were to come today and claim that you're fighting for your rights, there's folks have solidified themselves to such an extent that you will not be able to touch them. They will work together to make sure that you suffer. So, my recommendation is you try once, you talk, you do what you can, and when it becomes obvious that it's not working, you don't fight. I tell you, they they are hoping that you will fight. They are hoping that you will fight. They are hoping that you will ask for foolishness. They are hoping that you be disruptive. They are hoping that you become destructive because that gives them all the justification that they need to actually make you suffer more. So, what I recommend that you do, as I said before, is pack up your things, move, go to another place where they will listen, bring all the documentation and evidence that you gathered from the time when your rights were being infringed. Yeah, bring in all that documentation, and expose it. Yes, expose it. Share it. Share it everywhere you can. And then, after you've shared it everywhere you can, yeah, if there is something that you want to ask for, here is what I recommend that you ask for. Don't ask for foolishness. Because if you ask for foolishness, foolishness will come back to you. So, yes, I'm being very crass here. Because sometimes you have to be crass. Sometimes it's necessary to be crass. So, here's here's what I have for you. If you need to ask for something, ask that ask for the infringement of your rights to be stopped, and ask for the infringement of other people's rights to be stopped. Ask for I wanted to say adequate, but that's not the word. I actually had the words in my mind and I seem to have misplaced them somehow. I seem to only remember two. I had three of them. Okay, I got them now. Appropriate measures to be taken. Ask for appropriate measures to be taken in order to stop the abuse. Ask for necessary measures to be taken in order that the abuse and the infringement of rights be stopped. Yes, because this is what you want. You want it to be stopped. Also, if you have to ask for anything else, you ask for, you ask that the measures that are taken to stop the abuse, you ask that those measures be effective in stopping the abuse. And to put it all together, here is one more thing I'll see. You can ask that those parties who have grown fat on infringing people's rights be rendered incapable of continuing to infringe rights. So, know what to ask for. And where did I get that idea? I don't know. I guess I think a lot. I do a lot of thinking. I have my experiences. And I consider what would be the best way to handle certain things, and I mean based on my experiences, and like I said, I did mention at some point that I have law enforcement experience, and I mean those three words that I mentioned, appropriate, necessary, and effective, this goes around in law enforcement circles a lot. And as when they speak about methods of stopping and preventing like lawbreakers from continuing their actions. Lawbreakers from continuing their antisocial and destructive behavior, things that interfere with the peace of our society. Yes, and I I believe that infringing on other people's rights, this also causes immeasurable damage to a society. So, if you are thinking of asking for anything, if you are thinking of calling for anything, do it right. You by no means call for should be calling for violence. You know what? If you are calling for violence, it means that you are almost like a one-trick pony. And you want to know what? If you are calling for violence in any way, guess who's going to get it? You are the one asking for it, and it will fall back on you because you would be considered to be a violent person or violent group of people. And yes, what's going to happen is that the same group of people who have been abusing you, and I am laughing when I say it because I have to laugh because you don't seem to know what to ask for. I laugh when I say it because yes, clearly your rights have been abused, and maybe you are so used to one thing being used against you all the time that you might think that the only solution is that one thing. But understand that, as I said, in law enforcement circles, like sometimes force is necessary to stop things from happening. And when people talk about using force, you might think it always has to be physical. You might think that it always has to be something that requires damage to be done. But the truth is, when you're talking about use of force, we can actually just talk about a physical expression, a facial expression can be use of force. A posture can be use of force. Just speaking, that alone is considered use of force. Believe it or not. And also, if you don't know, use of force can be extreme too. It can go to very extreme measures. Very extreme measures can be taken as well. So it all depends on what's appropriate for the situation, what's necessary for the situation, and what will be effective to stop whatever's happening. So do not be a one-trick pony. Do not be a one-trick pony, because being a one-trick pony If you're a one trick pony asking for one thing, um, yeah, particularly if you're the violence type pony, it will come back to you because you are being ridiculous. Know what to ask for. Ask for ask for the abuses to be stopped, and ask for the abusers to be rendered incapable of continuing the abuse. This is what you ask for. If you don't know now, if you don't know now, you know. You do not be a one-trick pony asking for violence because if you are asking for violence, you're a fool. That's what I have to say to you. You are a fool. That's the end of my video. Good day.